You're listening to The Man Who Tried to Steal the Moon, written and told by Purdy Brock Jenkins. This recording was made for listeners on YouTube Music, as well as social media networks around the world. It's a brand new folktale from the Purdyville Library. So go on and get comfortable. Grab a snack or 7. After all, 7 snacks are better than 1 or 3. Put your feet up and relax. A good book is always better with a good snack. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The man arrived just after dusk. Didn't say his name. Didn't carry a bag. Just walked into town like he was already part of it. Olive saw him first. She was the kind of girl who noticed things. How paint peeled. How clouds clung to the tops of trees. How grown-ups paused just before lying. She lived in a cottage with a green tin roof and a window that faced the sky, because she liked to fall asleep with the moon watching. The man set up shop in the abandoned observatory at the edge of town. Didn't ask permission. Didn't fix the squeaky gate. Just moved in like someone with a purpose no one else could see. At first, people just ignored him. Then they got curious. Then they got nervous. Because things started disappearing. Not things you could touch. Not apples or socks or chickens. But light. Soft little bits of light that lived between the hours. The kind that made the edge of dusk look lavender instead of blue. The kind that flickered in puddles and bounced off wind chimes. It faded. And nobody noticed, except Olive. She walked out to the observatory one night, barefoot in the dew, her nightgown tucked into her boots. The man was on the roof. He had jars, dozens of them, all glowing, moonlight, trapped, like fireflies with no wings. "Why are you doing that?" Olive asked, voice soft. The man didn't jump, didn't even flinch. He turned slowly, eyes bright but far away. "Because it belongs to me." "The moon?" "No, the feeling of it." Olive tilted her head. "That's not how feelings work." The man smiled like someone who'd heard too many sermons. "You're young. You'll learn." But Olive already knew. She knew the moon didn't belong to anyone. That it was a gift, a friend, a secret kept by the whole sky. She watched him screw the lid on another jar. "What do you plan to do with it?" He looked down at his hands. "Keep it, just for me." "Won't it fade?" "Not if I keep it sealed." "But then it can't shine." The man paused, like he hadn't considered that. Over the next week, the moon dimmed. Not gone, just quieter, like it was sulking. Olive couldn't sleep. Not without her old silver friend blinking down at her. So she made a plan. She wasn't big or strong or particularly brave, but she was clever. And cleverness counts more when you're up against someone who only listens to himself. She waited until the man went out, probably to gather fog, or wring twilight from a pond, and she crept into the observatory. The jars were lined up like soldiers. Some were soft, some pulsed. One hummed when she walked past. She opened one, just a crack. Light spilled out. Not like a flood, like a memory. It danced across the ceiling and slipped through the vent like it knew the way home. She opened another, and another, and another. Each one whispered something as it left. Not words, but you'd know if you heard it. By the time the man returned, the jars were empty. The moon was bright again. And Olive? She was waiting on the roof, arms crossed, hair wild, eyes full of reflection. You stole from me, he said.
You were stealing first.
I was saving.
No, you were shrinking. Everything you touched got smaller.
He opened his mouth, closed it, looked up at the moon. It was full. It was glorious. And it did not miss him. The man didn't yell, didn't raise a fist or stomp or rage. He just sat down, right there on the observatory roof, right beside the jars she'd emptied. He looked at his hands like they'd let him down. And Olive sat too. Not close, but not far either. For a long time, they didn't speak. The moon hung heavy over them, like a story too big for words. Finally, the man said, I didn't want to be greedy. I wanted something beautiful that was only mine. Olive's voice was soft. But the beautiful things don't work like that. I know that now. He stared up at the sky. I just didn't want to lose the feeling, the stillness, the way it made me feel like I mattered. Olive understood. She really did. When she was younger, young enough to still think rocks had feelings, she once tried to bury a sunset in a box, dug a hole, shoved the box in, slammed the lid shut real fast. Came back the next day. Nothing in it but dirt and her own disappointment. The man stood up, brushing moon dust from his trousers. I'll leave in the morning. You don't have to, Olive said. Yes, I do. I stole something you love. And I gave it back. That makes us even. He blinked at her. You're not mad? I was. But I think you were lonelier than you were selfish. That's worse. That night, Olive stayed awake, watching the sky. The moon looked proud again, a little smug, like it knew it had won. But Olive didn't feel small. She felt connected. Like maybe some things were so big, the only way to belong to them was to stop trying to own them. In the morning, the man was gone, but not in the way people usually leave. He didn't sneak out or disappear. He folded. That's the only word Olive had for it. He folded into the wind, into a trickle of light, into a sigh the stars made when they remembered how old they were. She found a note. Thank you for letting me see it. I won't forget how it felt. She never learned his name. She didn't need to. The moon was full again. Her window was bright again. And in her dreams, she stopped hoarding things that couldn't be held. She grew older, wiser, stronger in the places that used to be soft. But she never tried to trap beauty again. Not in jars, not in poems, not even in pictures. She just noticed it and let it go. Sometimes she told the story to children, to neighbors, once to a tired baker who hadn't seen the moon in 3 years because of work. And every time she told it, she ended the same way. The moon will never belong to any of us, but it will always be ours. Years passed, and the town changed, the way towns always do. They built new roads, added electric lights that buzzed like busy bees, and knocked down the old observatory to make space for something shinier, a wellness center, or maybe a yoga barn. Olive never kept track, but she remembered the man, and the jars, and the way moonlight feels when it forgives you. One winter evening, long after her hair had turned the color of candle ash, Olive stood by her window again. The moon was full. Not perfect. It had a scratch, a wobble, a tired look like it had been working too hard, but it was still there, still shining, still kind. She whispered, more to herself than anyone else. Some things really are for everyone. A knock came at the door. Not loud, not eager, more like a suggestion. Olive opened it and found a child, small, freckled, wearing mismatched gloves. Are you the lady who let the moon out of the jars? Olive smiled. Maybe. The child grinned. I want to try. Try what? Letting light go. Everyone keeps it in their phones now. That made Olive laugh. All right, I'll show you how. They sat together under the sky. No jars this time, just cupped hands and open hearts. They watched the moon climb, and Olive whispered, First, you gotta stop trying to keep it. That's the hardest part. The child nodded, serious as a stone skipping across a pond. But what if someone else takes it? They will. That's part of the deal. And what if they don't give it back? Then we will give it to someone else anyway. Why? Olive thought for a while. The moon waited patiently. Because the light wasn't meant to be saved. It was meant to be shared. And if it disappears, we make more. With stories, with songs, with kindness. The child leaned her head on Olive's shoulder. That's hard. I know, but it's also lovely. That night, Olive didn't dream about the man, or the jars, or the observatory. She dreamed about weightlessness, about light that didn't need a home, about a moon that kept shining long after the last person stopped looking up. And in the morning, she wrote this in her journal. There are two kinds of people in the world, those who try to own the moon and those who keep it company. I think I've finally become the second kind. That's all for now. If the story left something with you, keep it. Let it ride around in your thoughts for a while. These tales weren't meant to explain the world, just to notice it a little more kindly. And if you enjoyed being here, well, I'll be back with more stories, more questions dressed up like answers. Till then, take care of yourself and take care of all the bright lights in your life. The moon, too. After all, they say it's made of cheese. And if you ever get hungry or stranded in the desert with no food around, you could always jump really high and try to take a bite out of it. If this made you smile or feel something fuzzy and wonderful, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. Also give me a comment. What ideas do you have for the next story? I'll keep telling stories if you keep listening. This has been Purdy Brock Jenkins, talking slow about things that move fast. I hope you enjoyed the story. It was a very good story. I especially liked the part where Olive referred to the moon as her silver friend. Do you have any friends named Silver? I once had a Great Dane named Silver and another Great Dane named Goldie. Together they were silver and gold. What's the weirdest pet name you've ever had? Put it in the comments below. Remember for next time that we need more snacks. A good book is always better with a good snack. See you next time, and have a sleepy Joe night. End of story.